This video is dealing with factoring a polynomial where the coefficient, which is the number in the very front in front of the highest exponent, is not 1. In this case, 27 is our leading coefficient. So anything other than 1, you could use these methods for. All right, first I want to look to see if there's a number that can be factored out of all of the terms, which by that I mean 27, 15, and 2. The only number that goes into all three is 1. So if there is no common factor bigger than 1, then I need to pick a way to factor this. One way is the box and diamond, and that is what we use most, but I'm also going to show you a new method that is a little quicker, and that might be easier for some of you. All right, doing the box and method, I'm going to go ahead and draw my box and draw my diamond. My first term I'm going to put in the bottom left-hand corner. And then my last term, my constant number, I'm going to put in the top right-hand corner so that they're diagonal from each other. From here, I multiply these two terms together to get the top part of my diamond up here. 27 times 2 is 54. So I'm going to put a 54x squared up in the top of the diamond. The middle term of my polynomial goes in the bottom part of my diamond. From here, I figure out what can I multiply to give me 54, but add to give me 15. 9x and 6x fit the bill because 9 times 6 is 54 and 9 plus 6 is 15. When I have the left and right sides of my diamonds complete, I'm going to put those two terms in the two boxes that are empty on the left. From here, I want to come down each column and go across each row and figure out what matches in each column and in each row. So 9x and 27x squared. I have to figure out the highest thing that these have in common. So a 9x and a 27x squared. Both of them have a 3 in common, but that is not the highest number. So I'm going to keep going until I do find the highest one. It's going to be a 9. 9 goes into 9 and 9 goes into 27. So I'm going to bring down that 9. X and x squared have an x in common, so I'm going to bring down this x. Now to the right side, a 2 and a 6x. The highest number they have in common is a 2, so I'm going to bring that down. And then only one of them has an x, so I'm not going to put that with the 2. That's coming up and down each row. Now I'm going to do the same thing coming across each column. In this case, 27x squared and 6x. We have to figure out the highest thing that they have in common. Also keep in mind when you factor this out, the bottom has to multiply with whatever I put here to give me a 27x squared. 27 and 6 have a 3 in common, and they have an x in common as well. If I put a 3x here, and I multiply by what I have on the bottom, which is my 9x, I realize that I do get 27x squared, so I'm good on that one. Coming across from 9x and 2, the only thing that those two numbers have in common is a 1. So these would be my two factors for this problem using the box and diamond method. I'm going to show you another way. And there's no name for it, so I'm just going to call it the 5-step factor, which means that there's going to be 5 steps. Okay, the first step is to take away the leading coefficient and rewrite it. And remember, this was the leading coefficient. So I'm just going to write x squared, I'm going to take the 27 away for right now, plus 15x. Now, the last number, I'm going to take the 27 and I'm going to multiply it by the 2. So I get a 54. That is your first step. So step number 1 is rewrite it without the leading coefficient and multiplying the 27 times the 2. So the first term times the last term. The second step is to factor as normal. So I want to factor this where I can multiply to get 54 and add to get 15. So it's basically the exact same setup that I did over here. I had to multiply to get the top and add to get the bottom. So I figure out what I can multiply to get 54 and add to get 15. In this case, it's 6 and it's 9. Third step, I'm going to bring back the 27. The 27 is going to be placed underneath the numbers from the previous factored problem. Okay? So that's step 3. Step 4 is to reduce those fractions. So on the calculator, you're going to do alpha y equals number 1, 6 over 27, and that reduces to 2/9. So you have x plus 2/9 for this parentheses, and then I'm going to go back and do the same thing for 9 over 27. So alpha y equals, enter, 9 divided by 27. This reduces to 1/3. So over here, you're going to have x plus 1/3. Now, since this is a 5-step method and I'm on step 4, then I only have 1 step to go. Your last step is to take your denominator from your first and your second factor and put that in front of your x variable. So your factors would be 9x plus 2 and 3x plus 1, which, if you notice, is the same exact factors that you got on the left. Now, some students are more comfortable with box and diamond because they've been doing it for a while. Some students like the second method better because it's a lot quicker and they don't have to think about what each row or each column has in common to factor out. So pick the method that you like the best and have fun with it.